Hey, when I call it, don't I? Well, if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen me call it. DC mayor tells residents to stay home for the 4th of July, promotes Black Lives Matter gatherings. Come on, we knew this was going to happen, right? I don't think it's that, spectacular in any way that I tweeted out this was going to happen because it's obvious. They're saying you got COVID, you can't open your business, you can't sell a cheeseburger, but by all means, go in the thousands without masks to protest. Why? She's at a protest, I'll call it soapboxing. There we go. I'd say bullhorning, but she's using a microphone. She's not wearing a mask. She's standing around all these people. She's coughing and spitting all over everybody. They don't care. I'll tell you what, man. This is one of the most brazen and, I gotta say, one of the scariest things that could ever happen. You know, we talk a lot about when and how and what civil war, but man, oh man. Tell Americans not to go out and celebrate the 4th of July while you promote these big Black Lives Matter protests. That to me, yikes, man, that's truly scary stuff. Well, let's read this and make sure we have the proper context, all right? Here's what the Daily Caller says. Democratic Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser told residents to spend the 4th of July at home, despite encouraging Black Lives Matter gatherings happening en masse amid the coronavirus outbreak. Just because there are going to be fireworks downtown doesn't mean I have to go, Bowser said at a press conference Thursday. She said she hopes to see a significant reduction in crowd sizes related to the 4th of July events, according to Fox 5. That is absolutely insane, man. This is it. Hypocrisy abound. They argued that, we were risking COVID by having these Black Lives Matter rallies, and we understand that, right? At first, it was just a double standard. Then when people started to call them out, they said, we are risking COVID because we're brave. And then people said, no, you were complaining that you're going to get grandma killed because you'll be an asymptomatic carrier. We're wearing masks. We are wearing masks. And people pointed out, okay, we'll wear masks at our events, but we're outside. Okay, 4th of July, outside, wearing masks. Don't do it. Don't go. Wow. And there it is. What excuse are they going to have this time? I don't want to see you out celebrating the birth of a nation. They've been tearing down our statues. And now they're doing this. Man, I'm getting worried more. I'll tell you what. You want to have your revolution, going this fast is crazy. There was one thread that I saw someone post about that they were planning, that the Democrats were planning this all along, and that, Trump wasn't supposed to win, and Trump jammed them up. So they're trying to move forward. I think it's a bit too conspiratorial for me. What I think we're seeing is the emergence of a religion, and that religion supersedes any logic. I don't care about your holiday, they say, but mine must be protected. This is why we have a constitution and why the government is supposed to protect various religions. You want to have your intersectional religion? I don't care. Believe whatever you want. But to use the power of government to suppress those you disagree with, now things are getting scary. Hey, man, we all saw what Bill de Blasio was doing to the Jewish community in New York, welding parks shut. Terrifying stuff. Let's read this. Check this out. Paul Wagner says, D.C. Mayor Bowser begins the news conference by urging D.C. residents to celebrate the 4th of July at home. The feds have already announced the fireworks on the mall will take place, and the president plans a salute to America on the south lawn of White House and Ellipse. The mayor did not share the same COVID-19 concerns for Black Lives Matter protests that flooded the streets following the death of George Floyd, who died after a police officer knelt on the neck for over 8 minutes. I'm just so sick of the news outlets saying this. We know. You can just say at protests. Jeez, man. Bowser posted a photo of herself amid a large crowd of BLM supporters that do not appear to be maintaining 6 feet distances from one another, and many are not wearing masks. President Donald Trump has planned his second edition of Salute to America on Independence Day on the White House South Lawn. The display will feature music, military demonstrations, and flyovers to honor our nation's service members and veterans, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said, according to the Washington Times. Bowser did not respond to a request for comment. Man, I'll tell you what, there's a big conversation going on. Trump going to win, Trump going to lose. And I see so many people saying he's going to landslide, he's going to win. And this is the conversation I had recently with a local down where I'm at, saying, it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a landslide. Yeah, I know. And then I talk to these people and I say, did you see what happened in New York? No, what? With AOC? No, I have no idea. Okay, let me stop you right there, buddy. If you don't even know what's happening in this country and you are sitting back convinced Donald Trump is going to win, he's going to lose. And I've been saying over and over and over again, hey, man, that's your warning. But you know what? The warning seems to go fall on deaf ears. Whatever, man. I don't care. Look, I think if Joe Biden wins, our country is in serious danger. I never saw Donald Trump necessarily as like a particularly great president, to be completely honest. I think the economy did really, really well. No new wars. These are really great things. But he's got negatives, man. He really, really does. And he's got attitude problems. He's got ego problems. And there's a lot of issues there. But I can give him respect for the things he's done right. That's always been my position. Orange man, bad, but not that bad. And actually, to be fair, good in some ways. Economy, for instance, and war, actually. It's better than I've seen in my lifetime. So that I'll be fair to him, right? But now, I'm absolutely leaning towards voting for Trump, as I've stated in the past. A lot of people want me to say something definitive. I won't, because we got a lot going on. And I don't think right now I can say for sure Trump could say something crazy could happen. I'll let you know when I know, all right? The fact is, Joe Biden is pathetic, and the far left is taking over, and it's getting insane. The state is now sanctioning this religion. This mayor is painting the street. It's you can't do this. It's not your street. It's a public forum. Can I go paint in the street now? I'll tell you what. There are a lot of reasons to suggest Trump could. This is either good news or bad news for Trump. Let's talk about the bad news first. The reason why this is bad is because it shows you the power of the state has embraced a religion and is using that power to suppress Trump's supporters and base. But a private platform. What about when they're literally telling you you can't have a rally, but we can? Now they're violating the First Amendment. Now that's getting freaky. That's the bad news. This suppression might actually hold Trump back. And I say bad news in the sense of violating the Constitution, civil liberties, not necessarily whether Trump wins or loses, but for Trump supporters, it's definitely bad news. The good news for Trump, however, is that telling Americans they shouldn't be celebrating the 4th of July while you celebrate Black Lives Matter may be a slap in the face so hard you send heads spinning. This may be the shock to the system that Trump really needs. Regular Americans, they love the 4th of July. They go out, it's the holiday. People go out, they make burgers and brats, and they get their chips and their beers, and they celebrate what America is. And they blow stuff up in the sky, and it's fun. Now what's happening? Telling people not to celebrate the 4th of July? Yikes, man. That is like walking up to Uncle Sam and punching him right in the gut. That's like walking up to a regular American and smacking him in the face. Not every single American, mind you, but many of them. I can only imagine this could be bad for Trump. But let's talk about Trump's campaign. The Wall Street Journal editorial board blasts failing Trump campaign message. I agree. They say, as of now, Mr. Trump has no second-term agenda or even a message beyond 4 more years of himself. His recent events in Tulsa and Arizona were dominated by by personal grievances. He resorted to his familiar themes from 2016, like reducing immigration and denouncing the press, but he offered nothing for those who aren't already persuaded. What is he going to offer people? Now, he's targeting the far left who's destroying our statues, but that's reactionary, I guess. What are you going to do to improve things? How will Trump should come out and say, we want to guarantee and enshrine the constitutional rights and make sure these won't be violated. A major move of Trump's administration in the next term with the Republicans should be guaranteeing that we do not see this double standard from this new religion, the separation of church and state. That these right, maybe it's law and order, to be completely honest. These things would benefit him. And he is talking about these things for sure. What about recovering the economy? Let's talk about COVID. Let's talk about what the plans are. And so far, what has he said? We reduced testing because you get too many, so we slowed it down. Was it a joke? I don't know. I don't care. But let me throw it to this tweet. I tweeted this. I think Trump is on track to lose in November. So many Trump supporters convinced they can't possibly lose. The polls are wrong, et cetera, et cetera. Look at the fervent masses out in the streets. People are going nuts. And with mail-in voting, I bet turnout skyrockets. And what was the response? Hubris. You know what, man? If Trump loses, when he loses, I'm going to laugh. The hubris of Hillary Clinton and all her supporters cackling. We're going to win. Trump can never lose. And when she lost, it was hilarious. And I laughed a hearty laugh, as I always say. Right now, it's Trump supporters who are saying it. and I'm getting ready to laugh, man. You think you're guaranteed this victory? These people, not everybody, mind you. No, it's split. But a lot of people are responding to this acting like Trump couldn't possibly lose. The American people are standing up defiantly. No, they're not. They're standing up. They're getting their rights trampled all over in the streets as white fragility becomes a #1 nationwide bestseller and people are spreading dogma. Yeah, this stuff is flying off the shelves. All I see from Trump and his supporters, yes, we see Trump supporters out in the street. Trump rally, 6,200 people, not the million he thought he was going to get. A lot of people said it was an embarrassment. Now you can argue he had 10 to 13 million or more watching remotely. Okay. Maybe, and I've argued maybe these people are just hiding because they don't want to get canceled. It doesn't matter what I think. Do not make the assumptions you've got it in the bag. And I'll tell you what, this tweet makes me laugh. I showed this image of Occupy City Hall. And this is one of the things that's funny is I'll highlight Sticks because I respect Sticks' opinion. He said, I am so surprised that leftist turnout is high in, checks notes, New York. What is that supposed to mean? What does that mean? You mean that people who did not rally in 2016 are rallying right now in New York? Yeah, you should be worried, man. Because if they can actually convince young people to get out and send in their ballots, that will be bad for Trump. Okay, New York's not a swing state. I'm not specifically talking about New York. I'm talking about the fact that in small towns, in conservative areas, people are showing up to protest for this stuff. In a small town in Ohio, 80 people came out to protest for Black Lives Matter. 800 Trump supporters came out. And you can say, see, that shows that Trump supporters are winning. But the fact that these people are activated and young people are activated, and I'm seeing celebrities tweeting about they want to get their absentee ballots in early. If you ignore this, you will lose. It's the mentality of people, of everybody, if you want Trump to win, should be like, while I think, Trump is definitely on track to win, you better treat this as though he is on track to lose. I really do think so. Listen, saying he's on track to lose, I'm not saying he's guaranteed to lose. I think he could absolutely win. But the track he is on right now, let me tell you, he's ragging on people instead of talking about his solutions. The Wall Street Journal said it. What do I see for Trump in terms of free speech? For years, nothing. He's finally talking about it, but it's been weak. Then you take into consideration the hubris. This is the second thing. Everybody's sitting back laughing about how Trump's going to win. All right, man. That to me shows that the track Trump is riding on is a path towards defeat. His supporters need to be adamant that Trump could lose this, and they must fight harder than they've ever fought, but they're not doing it. They're not. And they're not standing up for themselves in the workplace. So why should I believe Trump's going to win? If you won't stand up for yourself, why would you stand up for anybody else? It makes no sense. Maybe their fingers crossed that if they vote for Trump, he wins. And that's fair. I think Trump could win. But right now, I think the track he is riding on is towards defeat. Y'all need to wake up to this. These Democratic politicians are brazen in what they're doing in supporting a non-theistic religion. And you could argue that might help, like I said. But it could also show that Trump's base will be suppressed. Are they going to turn out to vote if Black Lives Matter activists are chanting in front of the polling station illegally? Will anyone stop them from doing it? I doubt it, because the police were already enforcing unconstitutional edict. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'll say it for the 50 billionth time. Your hubris, your downfall. I got a couple more segments in a few minutes. I will see you all shortly.